Over 60% of Americans currently live paycheck to paycheck. Astonishingly, about 51% of people earning over $100,000 a year are right there with them, trapped in the exact same cycle. You might look at someone with a brand new car and designer clothes and assume they are incredibly wealthy. But the truth is, the richest looking person in the room is often the most broke, drowning in a sea of invisible obligations just to keep up appearances. Hey friends, Hazel here. Today, we are exploring the massive difference between looking rich and actually being wealthy. We are going to uncover how the monthly payment trap manufactures the illusion of success, why high-income earners still end up completely flat broke, and how social media has totally distorted our understanding of what real money looks like. Because that $50,000 car in the driveway does not mean they own $50,000. It just means a bank was willing to lend it to them. Let us dive in. 1. The illusion of wealth. When you shake hands with someone new, a subconscious status scanner immediately goes off in your brain. You see the tailored jacket, the pristine white sneakers, the shiny keys to a European sports car tossed casually onto the cafe table. Your brain instantly screams, "Wow, this person is absolutely loaded." But here's the massive blind spot in human psychology that creates the ultimate illusion of wealth. You cannot actually see wealth. You can only see spending. You cannot look at someone and see their bank account balance. You cannot scan their outfit and see their investment portfolio, their hidden mortgage, their staggering student loans, or their painfully empty emergency savings. You only see the visual output. You see the car. You see the clothes. You see the house. You see the VIP table at the ridiculously expensive restaurant. But we need to get one thing straight. Spending money is not evidence of wealth. It is only evidence that money was spent. Where did that cash actually come from? That is the ultimate question. It might have come from a massive salary or years of disciplined saving, but it could just as easily come from a swiped credit card, a predatory personal loan, or a buy now, pay later app that splits a fancy dinner into 4 stressful installments. Think about the cars on the road. The average monthly new car payment in the United States recently reached over $700. So, when you see a luxury vehicle rolling down the street, it does not necessarily mean the driver owns a high-value asset. It often just means they signed a piece of paper legally binding them to send a massive chunk of their future labor to a bank for the next 7 years. The exact same logic applies to where people live and how they travel. A stunning luxury apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows does not mean the person owns valuable real estate. It frequently means that over half of their hard-earned monthly income vanishes into rent the second they get paid. And that jaw-dropping tropical vacation plastered all over your feed? It certainly does not prove financial freedom. There is a very high chance they will still be paying aggressive interest on those beachside margaritas 6 months after the photos were uploaded. Total U.S. credit card debt recently surpassed $1 trillion, proving that millions are privately financing lives they simply do not own. This creates a deeply flawed, incredibly powerful illusion in our society. The things that make people look wealthy are usually highly visible, incredibly shiny, and purpose-built to trigger envy. But the things that make people genuinely financially secure are almost always completely invisible. Nobody posts a glamorous photo shoot holding their fully funded emergency savings account. A beautifully diversified retirement portfolio does not turn heads when you pull into a crowded parking lot. The absolute freedom of being able to survive 12 full months without a single paycheck is a monumental life achievement, but it is completely impossible to photograph forever. All post. True wealth is heavily concentrated in invisible assets like home equity, boring index funds, and zero-balance credit cards, not rapidly depreciating consumer goods. When you only judge success by what is visible, you end up playing a game you are mathematically guaranteed to lose. You start chasing the stressful appearance of having money instead of doing the quiet, boring work required to actually keep it. Real wealth is quiet. It does not need to scream for validation, and it does not need a designer logo to prove it exists. Its ultimate purpose is never to attract attention. Its purpose is to create options. 2. The monthly payment trap. It has never been easier to literally rent the appearance of wealth. You do not need $80,000 in the bank to drive away in a luxury SUV. You only need enough monthly income to survive the payment. The second a dealership turns a massive purchase price into a digestible monthly number, the decision suddenly feels manageable. The customer stops asking, "What does this car actually cost?" and starts asking, "Can I handle $1,200 a month?" That tiny psychological shift is incredibly profitable for lenders. And it happens everywhere. The exact same trap is set with phones, designer clothes, and even your Friday night dinners. The scary total price disappears, replaced by a sneaky series of smaller numbers. $40 today. $200 next month. $3,000 for the luxury apartment, $1,200 for the car, and $100 for the gym. Each payment looks totally fine by itself. But together, they aggressively consume your future before it even arrives. This is exactly how someone earning $10,000 a month can still end up flat broke. Their entire paycheck is legally promised to landlords and credit card issuers long before payday even hits. They feel rich for about 11 minutes, and then the automatic transfers begin. They are not buying a wealthy life. They are just renting the appearance of one stressful payment at a time. 3. Lifestyle inflation. Most people assume that hitting a massive salary magically cures financial stress. But a higher income usually just buys you a first-class ticket to much more expensive mistakes. When your paycheck gets a bump, your entire world suddenly feels like it needs an upgrade to match. Banks happily throw larger mortgages at you, and credit card limits magically expand overnight. Suddenly, your perfectly reliable older car starts feeling incredibly inadequate, and flying economy feels like absolute torture. This phenomenon is called lifestyle inflation, and it is a highly effective wealth killer. It is the exact reason why someone pulling in $200,000 a year can feel just as suffocated as someone making $50,000. The financial cage did not disappear. It just got custom leather seats. Every time you get a raise, you probably feel like you deserve a solid reward for all that hard work. And honestly, you do. The nightmare begins when you upgrade every single part of your life at the exact same time. A fancy celebration dinner hurts your budget exactly once. But signing a much larger mortgage will drain your cash flow every single month for the next 30 years. You are turning temporary bursts of income into permanent, inescapable obligations. And if you think you can simply ignore the urge to spend, your phone is actively plotting against you. A recent Bankrate survey actually found that social media negatively impacts the finances of nearly half of Gen Z and millennials. You open an app and immediately see your friends moving to better neighborhoods, buying designer bags, and posting sunset videos from exotic resorts. Slowly and quietly, your brain completely rewires its definition of normal. You are not buying these luxury upgrades because you genuinely value them. You are buying them because the algorithm convinced you that an ordinary, financially responsible life is somehow a massive failure. But if every extra dollar you earn gets instantly swallowed by a shiny new expense, the number on your paycheck might get bigger, but your actual financial freedom stays frozen at 0. 4. Building real wealth. Real wealth does not actually require you to live like a broke college student forever. You do not have to permanently ban luxury from your life, or eat plain rice and beans for decades, just to build a massive net worth. The crucial difference is simply the order in which you buy things. Remember Noah? He pulls in the exact same $10,000 a month as our friend Alex. But when Noah's income increased, he did not immediately run out and upgrade his entire existence. He deliberately kept his previous, slightly cramped apartment for 2 more years. He continued driving his reliable 8-year-old Toyota because, frankly, it still got him from point A to point B without a single problem. He still enjoyed going to nice restaurants, and he still took fun vacations, but he paid for those experiences in cash. He completely refused to drag a heavy credit card balance around for months afterward. Noah was not allergic to spending money. He just bought assets before he ever tried to buy status. Before buying a shinier car, he built a bulletproof emergency fund. Before upgrading his zip code, he aggressively paid off his high-interest debt and automatically invested a large chunk of his income into boring, reliable index funds. He prioritized his own financial resilience over what a random stranger might think of him at a traffic light. This tiny shift in mindset completely changes the game. If both Alex and Noah get laid off from their jobs tomorrow, their identical high salaries instantly vanish into thin air. At that exact moment, Alex is left sitting with crushing monthly payments and practically zero savings to fall back on. His beautifully curated lifestyle begins collapsing in a matter of weeks. Noah, on the exact same salary, has very few fixed obligations and a mountain of liquid assets. He can comfortably survive for a very long time while he carefully looks for his next career move. That crisis moment is when the massive difference between high income and actual wealth finally becomes visible. We often confuse these completely different metrics. Income only measures how much money aggressively flows into your life. Net worth measures what actually remains after subtracting everything you currently owe. But financial freedom is the ultimate flex. It measures exactly how long your life can safely continue without being urgently rescued by another paycheck. A person can absolutely have a massive income and a terrifyingly negative net worth. Meanwhile, a completely average earner can quietly become a millionaire just by refusing to inflate their everyday lifestyle. The person earning more money is not automatically winning the game. They might just be rapidly flushing more cash through a significantly more expensive, highly stressed system. A genuinely financially secure person can eventually enjoy true luxury because their basic survival no longer depends on their next paycheck. They have carefully built a comfortable margin between what they earn and what they owe. They own productive assets that quietly generate more money while they sleep. Their debt is tightly controlled, not controlling them. Most importantly, true wealth buys you choices. It buys the absolute luxury of walking away from a toxic job without a massive panic attack. It buys the freedom to take time off to care for a sick family member or to weather a brutal economic recession without immediately selling off everything you own to survive. You get to make decisions based on your own values, not what the next aggressive car payment demands. You do not build real wealth by making absolutely sure everyone around you knows you have money. You become wealthy by keeping, owning, and investing enough capital that other people's opinions permanently stop controlling your daily decisions. Looking rich simply asks, what can I show people today? Being wealthy asks, what can protect my future tomorrow? Alex legally owns a shiny, perfectly filtered image, but Noah legally owns the actual, cash-producing assets. One path creates fleeting attention and massive anxiety, while the exact same income on the other path creates lifelong options and peace of mind. So the next time you see someone trying incredibly hard to look incredibly rich, just remember that you are only seeing what they bought. You are completely blind to what they secretly owe. Looking rich is entirely about what other people can see. Being wealthy is about what your life can comfortably survive. If your income magically doubled tomorrow morning, what would you rush out to upgrade first, your lifestyle, your assets, or your absolute freedom? Tell me your master plan down in the comments and hit subscribe for more animated stories about money, work, and surviving the weird financial world we live in.